My name is Anja Adibo Ali. Welcome to the best position in the whole of the universe. It's New Sister to Sport, of course, airing on the Band Radio School, on our YouTube channel, on Apple Podcasts, and anywhere else that you can think of. We'll be running through a couple of issues, interesting news across the globe. As it were today, a lot of interesting things have happened in the world of basketball, in the world of football. The Wimbledon Open is going on right now. Alcaraz is up to the next round. Taylor Fritz as well. I believe Novak uh, got through yesterday as well. So a lot of interesting things to talk about. And of course, we'll jump right into other sports. What we'll be starting with no other thing than the king himself, LeBron James. And it's kind of unsettling if you ask me, that we're talking about a 40-year-old holding the league to a ransom. At 40 years old, we should not be the talk of town, honestly. Nobody should really talk about it anymore. But the fact that we're still talking about LeBron in 2025, about his contract, $55 million contract with the LA Lakers, just goes to show you, apart from the basketballing side of things, which of course is probably number one to some people, and to some is number two, to some is not even in top 10, right? But that's not what we want to talk about. Basically, it just goes to show you he understands how the media work, the intricacy of the media, and how he could actually get people giddy and let them carry people along. He knows how to work the press. Yeah, we're talking about him right now. We should be more focused about what was AE doing right now. How is the recuperation of that is reporting going on right now? Damian Lillard, those are supposed to be the focus right now, but they are not because he understands how to work the media. Um, he knows how to get in the news, and he knows when to get in the news. Anyways, for the first time in his career, he's taking his player options. So basically, what that means is at the end of his contract, the 1 year contract extension he has right now, LeBron officially becomes a free agent. Um, but then he's going to be 41 years old. But this is LeBron, right? LeBron last season, I believe it was averaging 25.77, uh, which in itself it's more than glamorous, right? To some people, even the best of their career, they do not average that, right? And to think a 40-year-old is doing that, he might still have a little bit of thing left in his tank, right? A little more time to push for that. So anybody that wants to gamble on him, give him minimum contract, if he's gonna take that, but they've been touting a lot of things across the league that could be a potential fit for him. Madison Square is calling him, right? Definitely isn't going to go to the Boston Celtics. If he becomes a free agent, we could possibly be seeing LeBron going to Houston Rockets and tag up with KD. A lot of things that could potentially happen. We could see him go to Dallas, go enjoy some fun with his friends. And when I mean the friends, he has AD, he has Kyrie Irving, and a host of others there at Dallas Maverick, and all possibilities are open. But the true question is, how do we find ourselves here? Still talking about a 40-year-old. Uh, and how magnificent he is, right? And the future holds too many aces, right? And we'll never know what that is until the crystal ball shows us exactly what's up. And we'll not know that until next year, right? But for now, he's still with the LA Lakers. Nobody wants him in the league. Putting all that kind of wage cap on $55 million and a 40-year-old For what exactly? For one last title push? Or what exactly? You never know. This might be the season he gets injured or whatnot. Anyways, that's about it for LeBron, and of course, can Whitmore returns to the Brooklyn Nets from Houston Rockets. I said everybody keeps saying the bad guys or the bad players, the bad actors from last season, pushed by the Houston Rockets are leaving right now, and they are being replaced by better pieces. So we wish can Whitmore good one when it goes back to Brooklyn, and of course the Bucks did, I don't want to say evil, but they did a strong thing for Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard is out injured, and they decide to waive his contract. That means right now is they are not going to give him the extension. So by the time he comes back, he becomes an unrestricted free agent, and they got Mal Turner instead of him. Damian Lillard time as at Brooklyn has not been great. Let's be realistic. And I don't think the inferior that we had when he joined the team, I don't think we eventually did see that. We're expecting better things. I personally were expecting better things from him joining them, but we didn't see that. They had the NBA Cup um, win, which is maybe the best they got out of him. But realistically, and it was All Star last season, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think it was All Star last season. But realistically, we're expecting them to dominate the East more with Dame, but we never got to see that. And Dame has been in and out of injury for the past 1 year, realistically. So maybe maybe the Bucks did what was best for them. People had come out to antagonize the Bucks that oh this was a real shady one for them the way they treated Dame, but on the flip side, Dame wasn't readily available when they needed him. They did not lift the team the way you want an all-star player to lift your team. So, but getting Maltona is Maltona is what is a turn off for me. I don't know. You could get someone better across the league. No Maltona. Get a better point guard. Get someone that can facilitate the game more. We've lost Joe Holiday the last couple of seasons. But Montana could be a defensive demon, but they need a point guard. They need a point guard that will be able to facilitate the game better. Montana will do what it's supposed to do, but I don't see him as an A-list basketballer. They could have gotten someone, but who wants to go to Milwaukee? That's all. This the question. Um, and according to reports, Bonnie thought Giannis Antetokounmpo is not happy with that. He's not happy with that waiver of the contract of Damian Lillard. But of course, it is what it is. We'll see how that goes. The off-season trade is still ongoing. I'm pretty sure we'll see more in the next couple of weeks. We'll still have some scary moments. We'll still have some exciting moments, exhilarating moments as the trade world continues. And of course, moving to the FIFA, the much maligned FIFA World Club Championship, Chelsea defeated Palmeiras. They are off to the next round. They're going to be playing against Fluminense. Of course, playing against Fluminense is one thing, but they will be reunited with their former captain. Yeah, their former captain Thiago Silva, who plays for Fluminense right now. Thiago Silva, just like LeBron that we were just talking about, is defying all the odds. I believe he's 40 years old as well, still doing his thing in Brazil. It's going to be an interesting one. Now that we are getting to the crux or the climax of the tournament itself, we are seeing different things, right? We're seeing a different level of game being played right now. Nobody thought Chelsea would be where they are right now, but they've defied all the odds. They have great players. They have a young but a good coach as well, and so many players. But they can do their thing when they are ready to do their thing, and they are doing that right now, making a name for themselves. and comes into pass. And the money that Chelsea have made this off season is enough, honestly. And if they win, which there's every possibility that they can, it's going to be a very good one for them. And moving on, it's the game between PSG and Bayern Munich that happened last night. PSG defeated Bayern with 9 men, 2-0. But the biggest talking point was the injury to Jamal Musiala, that collision with Donnarumma. It's something that could easily have been avoided. Um, the Bayern Munich camp, especially now, was really upset, and they went all out against Donnarumma. I think Donnarumma was a little bit overexcited with that jump and that freak off injury is really scary. And this is kind of things we are saying, right? And this could happen in the regular season as well. But at this time, this is July. This kid should, or this particular kid, Jamal Musala, should be enjoying himself somewhere on the beach, playing with his friends, laying out with families and whatnot. But here we are, injury that probably will take him out for the rest of next season. But what I saw, I'm not a doctor, but it looks pretty bad. And if any prognosis that was supposed to follow, according to the experts, he probably will not be able to play for the next 8 months. And that's basically sharing and saying into or saying off his next season, which could have easily have been avoided. Anyways, PSG give an account of themselves. The way scoring the first goal and Usman Dembele scoring the final goal. But the question that people keep asking is, are PSG going to be regretting the fact that they sold Ekiti to Miles Lesbig when they did? Are they in need of a conventional striker, a typical number nine that can press? Last season they were all out to get Victor Osimhen, and maybe this season they'll go back for Victor, and if they do, that would be a very good one for Victor himself. Victor is a player that people are not watching right now. European top teams are not looking at Victor right now. According to Report Bill Monitor today, looks like the only club that is really looking at Victor right now is Manchester United. And if only Manchester United is looking at you, that says a whole lot about how glamorous people think you are, right? United is not the generation of yesteryears, and if they are the only people looking at you, I won't call it a good thing, and neither would I call it a bad thing. United is still one of the biggest brand names in football, so you can't take that away from them. But it's crazy if only United is looking at you. But I definitely wish Victor Osimhen could actually go to PSG. I wish they would be able to reignite that situation. But they played so long without a conventional nine, and it's been well with them. Honestly, playing without it, you won't even notice that they are playing without. They are not playing with a conventional number nine. So that goes a long way to showing what they do, how they do it, and how they make these stuff happen. So, but Victor, we want to see you at PSG. I hope you have a new agent. Let them bring up Luis Enrique again. Let's see if we can make this work. 63 million pounds is not so much for PSG to put on the table. His wages would not be so much for them to put on the table as well. One of the richest club in the whole of the universe right now, PSG. Let's do this. Let's see Victor in France, back in France, and let's see him help push them to greater glory because basically they've had probably their best season ever. First Champions League, treble. What am I even talking about? Quadruple, if you ask, because they won two domestically, they won two domestically, they won the Super Cup for themselves, they won Champions League, and they won the Champions League as well. And what else did they win? I think they won something else, but I can't remember what was the last thing that they won. like five trophies last year, or four trophies last year for them. So they are really doing well for themselves, if you ask me, which is a good one. But putting Victor on top of that would be the golden eyes for them. Rakukachi, if you can hear me, say what's up, brother.
Yeah,
Um,
thank you, Debo. I can hear
anyway,
you.
moving to more actions would be the fact that Ter Stegen is still a name. Okay, sorry, no. Moving to more action will match Real Madrid defeating Borussia Dortmund 3-2 last night. Looks like Borussia Dortmund is out of the series right now as it stands. Why do I keep saying series? They are out of the tournament right now. Kylian Mbappe scoring that wonderful goal. They said he's reenacting what they said he's reenacting what his role model does with that acrobatic finish for Real Madrid as a defeated Borussia Dortmund 3-2. uh, Madrid will be playing against PSG. That definitely will be a good one to watch out for. I honestly think Real Madrid will go down the wire against PSG. PSG definitely will win this. Definitely will win this. That's my own prediction for this particular encounter. PSG are on fire. They have the confidence. But unfortunately for them, they've lost two of their defenders who will not be playing for the rest of the tournament, if I'm not mistaken. And that's Pacho and Hernandez. Lucas Hernandez, not Tio Hernandez. Tio Hernandez has moved to El Hilal, but Lucas, the twin brother, out with a red card and will not be playing in this tournament. Let's see if we can add Kachi to the show. I can't see Kachi for some strange reason. He's not being added to the stream. Let's see. Let me see. Okay, Kachi, can you share something?
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, thank you, and sports fans, thank
I
you.
can't hear you.
Oh, really?
Can you hear me?
Yes, absolutely. Loud and clear, buddy.
No, I can't hear you for some strange reason. Um, let's see how that goes. So sometimes I'm talking to myself and people don't even know. Loud and clear. You're upside down now. Okay, great. But I can hear you still.
Oh, that's sad. Do you want me to like join, come back again and join?
Can you say something again?
Yeah, I said, would you rather I join, I log back on and join again so the fans can hear me? I know when when I want to ridicule the Martin Zubimendi sign in, you will pretend you cannot hear me, Debo.
Yeah, I'm struggling to hear you very well.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what exactly is wrong with my earpiece. I think there's something wrong there. Let me just see if I could fix it.
But I could get back on the show if you want me to do so.
No, 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 we're good.
Okay.
Let me just I could just quickly see if there's anything here that I could work on. Can you hear me now?
Yes, loud and clear as always.
Loud and
Can
clear.
you?
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I think it's just it's just my earpiece that is not working properly.
Okay. Now you're mute. We can hear you. Sports fans, while Debo tries to fix that, I just want to say a big shout out to every one of you who has, made it an appointment to join us every week as we discuss all things sports. A very somber week, in spite of everything that is going on around the world. Events of last week probably made everyone feel very, very reflective on how fickle this world is. Between the world of sports and entertainment, we lost close to 5 or 6 people on what became a very dark Thursday. and we send our condolences to every single one of them. I'm sure Debo would have touched on it.
No, I
Uh,
did not. Unfortunately, I did not touch on it. I didn't want to start with the sad news.
yeah,
I
yeah,
was
yeah,
looking to end on a side note about Dico
yeah,
Yota and Peter Rufai and
yeah.
all the people that were lost on Thursday, which
Mhm,
was pretty dark day for
mhm.
everybody involved. Even even we non Liverpool supporters, I was devastated because I wasn't expecting that. It was
Yeah.
someone a friend from the UK just texted me like Diogo Yota is dead. I'm like, what? Diogo Yota? I'm like, wasn't making sense to me anyways. But it is what it is, and
Yeah, yeah.
too bad, so sad. Our condolences to them, to the family, the
Mhm.
wife, the parents, most especially losing two kids on the same day.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
something so unbearable. Yeah, just before you joined the Kachiri, I was talking about Real Madrid defeating Dortmund, and we'll
Mhm,
be seeing a PSG Madrid in the semifinals of the FIFA Club World Cup.
mhm.
Um, and I'm saying I think PSG definitely will take this. But looking at PSG themselves, I'm thinking they'll be crying out for a conventional number nine,
Mhm,
an elite one. And I know last season they were all out for Victor Osimhen to
mhm.
join their ranks, but it did not happen because of Napoli, more because of Napoli than anything else. Victor actually did agree contract with PSG, but Napoli were holding off for higher fee, which PSG feel was too much, and they reignite on so many of the contacts that they had. Like, oh, okay, you can pay 60 million, and they go back. No, 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 we're not taking 60 million again. We want 65. Okay, let's pay 65. No, we don't want 65 again. We want 75 now. And that was how it went on, and even for Chelsea
Mhm.
until Victor ended in Galatasaray, where he became the highest goal scorer, won them the league, won them the cup, do what he knows how to do best. Probably the most goals by Galatasaray player in their
This is.
debut season in the Turkish India in the good Turkish club's history, which is a good one for Victor. So he's still on the map, but I'm just kind of scared because I said, look, if only United is looking at you, that only signifies one thing: you are not out on the market, right? Yeah, if only United is looking at you, that means you are not out on the market because realistically, who wants to go to United, right? Anybody that goes to United now just wants to go because of the money or because they are a fan of the club and they've always dreamt of playing for the club. Those are the only two reasons why you want to go to United right now.
Can say
They are not.
that.
They are not going to. They are not going to challenge. They are not going to any European competition. The list goes on and on and on and on. So, do you think PSG will defeat Madrid? Definitely. And do you see Victor Osimhen finally moving to PSG if they could reignite that situation?
Um, this is what I would say. First things first, everything about Victor Osimhen's transfer, I would first of all say that I want I want to lay part of the blame on Victor Osimhen himself, who hasn't really, outside of the rectangular shaped football field, hasn't really painted himself in the best light and doesn't have the best PR. And I also want to partly put the blame also on his agent, Roberto Calenda. Um, but we will get to that in detail. It's Madrid is a team that you cannot come out and say another team will definitely defeat them. Um, yes, you can definitely say that the PSG project is at an advanced and probably at the peak. um, Everything Luis Enrique had envisaged PSG to be is who they are right now. They are at the peak of their powers, current European champions, playing like champions, handled Bayern Munich in the quarterfinal game of the FIFA Club World Cup very convincingly, in spite of even going down to 9 men. It didn't even look as if, yeah, Bayern looked like they were going to try and score, but it was a case of Too little, too late for Bayern Munich, and don't let the 3-2 scoreline between Real Madrid and Borussia Dortmund deceive you. This was a game that was over since it turned 2-0. Yes, Girassi got his goal, and yes, there was a last minute shot that Courtois had to save. But Dortmund were riding the wave of getting a goal back and seeing if anything could have happened. I do, however, would say this that there is a you can clearly see what my man Xabi Alonso is trying to build. We can see his trust in youth. The story of this tournament for Real Madrid has been its youth. It has been, and that is why someone like Hendrick is being touted as wanting to leave because he's seen his fellow bench warmer last year become the new Luka Modric in Adagule.
Angela.
And then we're seeing what Garcia is also doing, Gonzalo himself. Uh,
Hmm.
it has been the story of the youth. Vini is, people are even laughing at Vini for attempting a rainbow flick, because like the shine is being taken off the likes of Vini. Of course, we know that Mbappe has not really lit up the tournament because he hasn't played as many minutes. All this is to say, yes, the advantage lies with PSG. No new person per se has come into that team. So everyone understands what they're doing. The coaches, the players have been together for at least 3 years, give or take, except for maybe a Kvaratskhelia. But we know Kravra would enter any team and make the team right away. Even this current Real Madrid team. Let's just say he's a transcended star. Now, all that is to say, I do give PSG a slight edge, but this is Real Madrid. They are made for the big occasion. I've not seen any particular game this year that under Xabi Alonso where they felt they looked outplayed. Even against Pachuca when they went one man down, they kind of played better with 10 men than they did when they had 11 men on the pitch. So I
Yeah.
know that team is built to go through adversary. They have the experience, they have the wherewithal. Wherever PSG thinks they need to get to historically, Real Madrid is there and will probably forever be there. When you look at it one on one, individually, Real Madrid has the better players. As a team, PSG is playing better now. But I think this game came too early in Xabi Alonso's career. If this had been the semi-finals of next year's Champions League or next season's Champions League, we would have seen how far this team would have progressed, this
Right.
current great team. I think it makes for a great game. And Mbappe will probably start this game, much to the chagrin of Gonzalo, because he has to make way. But I think he holds the aces because wherever he comes in, the ball just seems to find him. His positioning has been amazing. I think the lack of a clear-cut attacker would hurt PSG against Real Madrid. Not that, I mean, they play fluidly without a
But
proven attacker,
they'll be
but
missing two of their defenders too.
they will be missing that.
Pacho.
Hoyson is missing. No, that's for PSG,
No,
right?
for PSG, yeah, they'll be
Yes,
missing
PSG are
Pacho. They'll
missing
be
people, but
missing.
Hoyson is going to miss that game as well due to the
Hmm.
red card he got against Borussia Dortmund.
Yeah.
I don't know if Asensio is back. Uh,
Asensio should be back now because he
yeah,
had
Asensio will probably
the
be
one.
back. So if you don't have a proven striker that can pull this, is the centre back pairing of either Asensio or Rudiger out of position, which I think this current Real Madrid defensive team is too disciplined to fall for that track. That is where we might now see the lack of a proven striker in the modes of PSG hurting them. Um, Real Madrid has that slight edge because between Vini, Gonzalo, and Mbappe, the goals will come. Valverde is still Valverde. Adagule just looks like he keeps getting man of the match performances. This is what I would say. The form book says PSG wins it, but I think I'm going to go against the form book and say though Real Madrid will suffer, they will not control possession in this particular game. I do not. I don't know how I can give that game definitely
PSG.
to PSG, considering the pedigree Real Madrid has.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much. That was a wonderful analysis, by the way. And of course, to a more interesting one. Kudus, 50 million pound bid has been rejected by West Ham. The bid was definitely from Tottenham Hotspur. Whatever it is that they think they're doing at West Ham, I don't understand. 50
Mhm.
million pounds for Kudus with the season he had last year. Definitely is not bad. And Spurs, just like Spurs are, don't know how to spend their money.
Mhm.
If he has put in 50 million pounds on Kudus, I don't know how that is going to elevate you. That is not a material signing for a team that came 17th or 16th last season, very close to relegation. Um, but of course, there's Spurs. Nobody wants to go to Spurs, just like United.
Mhm.
Um, um, and so another one, last season, Arsenal signed Zubimendi in January. Again, they concluded in March. Again, they concluded in June. Finally, it's been unveiled right now.
Yeah.
At which is so the much relief of Arsenal fans. If you ask me, I think everybody is happy about that. How happy Arsenal fans are. It's a decision. It's something I don't really rate Zubimendi. I don't really rate him in terms of what I've seen. I'm not impressed.
Mhm.
Maybe because I've seen what Partey does on a week to week basis, how intelligent he is. But do you think this would be an upgrade on Thomas Partey or Arsenal are busy? Because now Arsenal has the midfield triumvirate of Real Sociedad in 60 years in Odegaard, Mikel Merino, and Zubimendi.
Mhm.
So basically, our guy is trying to turn us to the back thing. That's
Mhm.
what he's trying to do right now. But do you think this is going to be an upgrade on Thomas Partey or just we have to see? Everybody was excited about Mikel Merino last season, and when it got to Arsenal, it was overwhelming in the midfield, very sluggish. Too many things, right? But it's the first season. Maybe it's going to get better. Do
Mhm.
you think? Do you ever see the same thing will happen to Zubimendi when he gets to Arsenal?
This is what I would say, Debo. I do think Martin Zubimendi is one of those elite defensive holding midfielders um, right now in the current game. I do. I also think he is Arsenal's answer to the Rodri position right now in terms of his box to box nature, the goals he also gets, and his physicality. The only reason I will call him present, in fact, two reasons I will call him an upgrade on Thomas Partey is one, availability.
Okay.
Thomas Partey, obviously, in 4 years or 3 or 4 years with Arsenal, played a total number of 2 seasons and was
Yeah.
absent on injury for a total of about 2 seasons. Martin Zubimendi will be available. Also, he's younger, which means the lung is fresher slightly.
Yeah.
So that in me tells me there is an upgrade, and he's cerebral. He's going to play with people he's played with in his youth. So assimilation and adaptation will not be
Not be
much
a problem.
of an issue for him. Partey, due to no fault of his, did not have a consistent midfield triumvirate to fully understand. And one thing you have to say is Arsenal's midfield has not gone a whole season without injury. So it's always changed. You are trying to settle and understand this one, then the main player comes back from injury, then you have to readapt to him. I think this baskness of the current midfield would help eliminate that and help Martin Zubimendi pretty much adapt quicker than Mikel Merino probably did.
Indeed.
Merino's slow adaptation did not stop him from retaining his position with the Spanish national team. And you can see how playing with people who you know and understand kind of elevates Merino's game. We saw it in the
Nations League.
Nations League semi-final and even the final.
Mhm.
Merino just kept finding the net, was kept being depended on, and was a very dependable option. I think it would be Mendy seeing those around him and understanding how they play and how they think. And I think that's where
Mikel.
Ateta was aiming for, to say, okay, I want instant assimilation in my midfield. I want an assimilation where it does not matter. All you have to say, hey, play the Basque way. Where is your deep lying midfielder? Where is your creative midfielder? There's a way Basque teams play. You'll watch Atletico Bilbao today, watch Sociedad tomorrow. It's almost like the only difference is just the color of the jersey. The midfield, the trio in that midfield played the same way, and that's why I think he's now looking at, okay, how can I get what's this attacking guy now?
Ooh,
I'm not sure if it's Rodrigo or Ebere Chieze, uh,
okay.
who they are now thinking Ebere Chieze has a soft spot for Arsenal. You should be happy,
Yeah.
even though he had that disappointment. But that's why he's now looking for pace in the on the flanks. That give or take, Martinelli, yes, he might be fast, but does not play. Martinelli does not play like a Brazilian. Let's just put it that way. He's a fast boy, but sometimes you're wondering how cerebral he is as a player. And that's why Anabere Chieze, is reminiscent of a Nico Williams, in how he can one-on-one take you on, swap with the other flank, and just pull out the defenders. And I think that's where Ateta is aiming for. So to answer your question, two things make me think Zubimendi is an upgrade. The first is availability. He doesn't get injured. I've not really read so much about him being away for a lengthy period of time. And he's younger than Thomas Partey. And a third, like unlikely reason would be the fact that he already has an understanding of how the other two members of that midfield
Okay.
currently plays. So assimilation and adaptation or
Will
adaptability
not will not be a
will
will
not be
not
an
be my problem. Anyways, Arsenal fans have been they woke up to um should I say an ephemeral or a climax of good news today,
Mhm.
being and that is in the mode of Gyökeres potential move to Arsenal, total agreement between the player and the club, 5 year deal on the line,
Mhm.
working with Sporting Lisbon to see how how a fee can be structured and agreed
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
If this guy goes to Arsenal, which as it stands today is like 80% probability that's
Mhm.
going to go to Arsenal.
Mhm.
If he goes,
Mhm.
what does that say about how they would um, challenge next season potentially?
Mhm.
You see how Kai Havertz will we know is good for the game as well in his own way. In his
Mhm.
own way, I don't like him, but he's good for the game as well in his own
Yeah.
way.
Right.
I'll probably give a Jesus staying back in Arsenal, which I don't see happening. I think he will be offloaded
Mhm.
because of PSR or whatnot. But if this guy moves to Arsenal, what kind of chances will you be giving to Arsenal? And don't forget, you'll have to consider the movement that Manchester City have done off season,
Yeah.
the movement that Liverpool has done off season with Frimpong, Kekes, who else? Florian Rees as well. So how would you think their chances is going to be?
Okay, but if the rest of the team have not made a move to bolster their current squad, I would say, okay, Arsenal just had a massive upgrade and probably just elevated how hard they will challenge. But the other teams have also improved, right? And the slots Liverpool did not stay lying down. They are not resting on their oars. They obviously will go to the market and try and replace Diogo Jota's right now. But this is what I would say. Arsenal, like eliminating the outside noise and just internalizing this, has gotten considerably better. One of the knocks we gave Arsenal last year was the lack of a proven striker, simply because the likes of Gabriel Jesus was either not available or went for a long period of time without being informed. Kai Havertz is not your attack. He's not a number nine. Number nine. He's someone that can hold up play. Reminds me of I just immediately I thought of him. I totally forgot his name now. He played with Didier Drogba in Chelsea. Didn't get in on the goals, but was a
Idogu Johnson.
no, not Idol. Idol. I won't call Idol a number nine. No, this was in the early days, 2004, 2005. But I digress. All I'm
Okay.
saying is Kai Havertz is not the solution. Um, having an option, second, third option that you can get 10 goals in all competition from, with a Gabriel Jesus that can give you another 12, 10 to 12, 15 goals in all competition to complement what Jokeres will give you, to complement if Iberichieze comes in, what he will give you. If, it's a big if.
If it
And
does, man, I'll be
if it
so
does
happy.
come in, and what you currently get from the like of Martin Odegaard and Bukayo Saka. Arsenal, by eliminating that noise, can look at his current squad and say, we got better. We had a squad that in no way could compete. In spite of Man City's collapse, Arsenal was not in a position to take advantage of that and compete with Liverpool last year. This particular squad, um, they are getting better in terms of depth. They are getting better in terms of the quality they now have. That I do think that they will be ready. Now they will not go into the new season as favorites, but they will be ready right now as they are currently formed, even without Eberechieze coming in or without Rodrigo also deciding what to do. They will be ready to take advantage of any potential slip ups by the two juggernauts in Liverpool and Manchester City. Arsenal definitely got better, but when you look at them side by side with the bigger boys in that league, it's just like any other Tuesday because those ones also got better.
All right, perfect. Of course, Ter Stegen is still in limbo at Barcelona. We don't know what's going to happen to him. Serie A clubs have rejected him. Inter Milan were looking to be the best option for him, but Inter are saying no currently. We don't know what's going to happen in the near future. Nonima Duke is being targeted to move to Arsenal.
Yeah.
I don't know how exciting that it is for Arsenal fans. For me personally, as an Arsenal fan, that's no exciting news. Eberechi and Rodrigo would be the best option. Eberechi potentially complementing or replacing Odegaard, and Rodrigo replacing Martinelli
Nelly.
as he stands. And of course, Lautaro Martinez came out in the middle of the way to accuse his fellow teammates, and we're looking at
Akan
Charanoglu,
Chalobi. Mhm.
Charanoglu with not being available for the team, and it looks like Lautaro Martinez was really mad at Charanoglu. I don't know why he was upset. Charanoglu wants to leave. He already spoke to the president of the club, and they had a kind of understanding, availability, and where your airspace might be. It just goes to show how people really, or even the players really, look at this competition itself, right? If it was a Champions League, even if he wants to leave, Charologu would still have played,
Mhm.
right? Um, but do you think the accusation of Balotro Martinez was a little bit over the board? I think it was, for me personally.
Debo, you are talking to someone who saw Hakan do the same thing to his club before moving to the other side of the pond. A leopard cannot change its skin. Hakan Chanaloglu has been this consistent. I believe he was with Stuttgart, if I remember clearly. Was this Stuttgart or
Upper
Was the German
Leverkusen.
club? I can't remember the German club.
Leverkusen.
It was the Liverpool before
Was it?
Leverkusen. He was playing for another team. He threw the same tantrum to make his move. He threw the same tantrum to make the move from AC Milan to Inter Milan. This is someone that his off-field antics
Yeah.
belie the skills he has. I think
Hamburg,
Okore,
sorry. It was Hamburg.
it was Hamburg. Yeah, thank you
Yeah.
very much. It was Hamburg FC. Um, his antics off the field is way bigger than whatever value he's bringing to you. Let me just put it that way. Talented player, but he's not otherworldly. But he makes demand as if he's a transcendent player and the whole world should revolve around him. Inter showed last season that they can play more pragmatic football, even with an older person handling that midfield in
Eric, Mc-
uh,
Eric
in
Mkhitaryan.
Mkhitaryan, and that tells you this guy cannot compete with an older Mkhitaryan. And instead of saying, "Hey, I'm going to buckle down, I'm going to fight and win this starting position, and probably get Mkhitaryan to move," because
But it's a Turkish thing, though. That's the thing.
why do you say it's a Turkish thing?
They're all like that. The Turks are like that.
I don't think so. But
Gudogan, Mesut Ozil, Akansuko. I can keep going on and on. And that's like
so
that.
I find it hard to say so because we only saw these guys probably have that in one situation.
Oh
But
yeah.
when you have constantly done it in three clubs that you have played at, then the issue cannot be those clubs. The
Hamburg,
issue has to be
Bayer Leverkusen, AC
yeah.
Milan, now Inter.
Now Inter. So come on, why is it that every time you think the stove gets hot, you jump out of the pot rather than say, hey, how do I adapt to this? I wish him all the best. I mean, he's won the league. He's been a Champions League finalist twice, I think.
Twice, yeah.
Uh, I couldn't care if he stays or leaves, if you ask me, because I mean, his talent is not that much to warrant that drama. He's not a
So
Zlatan.
someone is just hurt.
No, I'm
Anyways,
not hurt. I won the league after he left, and I won the league before he got the league. So we'd always have the upper hand. He can say he won the league, but we'll be like, hey, Zlatan said it first. We don't care who leaves. Milan is still red right now.
yeah, and of course, Diego Leon has moved to Manchester United. He's going to be competing with the Arab current right back. United fans are not so happy right now because they're looking for an inspiring signing for them. I believe Olawale, when Olawale was here 2 weeks ago, we both agree that the inspiring signing that United really needed right now is an energetic, charismatic, maybe a little bit annoying player in Emiliano Martinez, the goalkeeper of Aston Villa,
Mhm.
that's been, for whatever breakdown they've had, that is what they really needed right now. Someone that can spark them back into life, But of course, I've never seen Diego Leon play before, honestly. I hope it's going to be a good addition for them. And of course, Semenyo, who United has been looking at, because
Mhm.
these are the kind of players they are attracting right now. I signed a 5-year extension with Bournemouth, so looks like he's not going to be going to United. They've not been able to agree fee from Boemo, who I think it's not going to spark them to life as well. Kachi, right before we go on the show,
Mhm.
what kind of can you think of a player that United really needs right now that can actually spark them back into life?
Two, Emiliano Martinez and Victor Osimhen. Uh, uh, these are people that are polarizing. With Emiliano Martinez, you are neither undecided. You either love him or you hate him, and he needs to elicit that passion when opposing team fans see him on the pitch. Rather than cheer their team, they will spend their time trying to boo him. And we know that guy is made of his mindset is one of the toughest in the world. Victor Osimhen, he doesn't need to understand your language. He doesn't need to even know what you speak. He just knows he works hard for the ball. Let's take away his antics off the field, which could have been repaired earlier. That's why I was giving Roberto Calenda I would say 70% of
Speak.
the blame. He did not manage it. He should have immediately tried to get Victor in front of very popular podcasts, Gab Makotti and Guillermo,
Yeah,
to interview him, because they cannot say what Florent Wiz, who has not had as much impact as Victor Osimhen, he's worth almost £320,000 per week, and you are calling Victor Osimhen that has done it in 3 or 4 leagues, Ligue 1, the Syria, and even the Turkish league,
Bundesliga.
and you are telling me that Florian Wirtz is worth more than Victor Osimhen right now. The PR around him has just been terrible. He probably needs to consider that. But what Victor will do is strike fear in the hearts of defenders. He has defenders have to lose the game before you even start playing. That is what Manchester United. That was the aura United had before. Teams were in awe when they see the people coming out from the dugout with
For
them.
dugouts, yeah.
The match sometimes was lost, and that was why Patrick Vieira did what he was doing then. He needed to get the head of his players psyched to, rather than be in awe,
Of
get angry to
yeah,
play to win.
yeah.
It was a psychological battle because half of the battle playing soccer the all Real Madrid or the Spanish team of 2008 to 2012 had gave them the matches. If and that was why the 5-1 defeat against Netherlands looked like it shook the whole world then at
Hmm.
the World Cup.
Yeah.
So United needs to get back its all. The first thing is defenders need to be afraid of the attackers they are facing, and then they need a heavily divisive character. United has always thrived in that, in Cantona, in Roy Keane. They don't have that anymore. There's no one that is bringing. Opposing fan has to hate your players more than they want to cheer for their team.
For that team.
That is what United is currently lacking, and that is why I say Martinez and Victor Osimhen will be the icing on the cake for them right now.
All right, perfect. Any final word before we go?
Uh, yeah, big shout out to the CONCACAF that has been totally overshadowed by the FIFA Club World Cup happening in the same location. The final holds today between Mexico and the United States. Will Pochettino finally get his hands on another trophy? I do want the United States to win. And then another shout out to the CAF Women Cup of Nations, which kick-started over the weekend. Will the female Eagles get their hands on their 10th continental championship?
Get it burning.
The field is gradually leveling up. We do wish them the best. And we also want to extend our condolences to the world of sports and to the family, the Diogo Jota's family as well, as we commiserate with them. Until then, I say, Milan till I die.
All right, guys. Wonderful one. Always good talking to Kukachi. My name is Lalija Adeboale, and he's still the best politician in the whole of the universe. It's New Season to Sports. Keep supporting us until we see you again next week. Don't stop being a